Now that Donkey Kong Bananza has been out for some time, people have had the ability to scour each layer for any hidden details that include things like secrets, Easter eggs, and even glitches. In a game this massive with tons of nooks and crannies to explore, there's bound to be several standout bugs that can either mess up your experience or actually help you out in some crazy ways. So for this video, I had the idea to look at every single glitch, of course found so far, in Donkey Kong Bananza. Oh yeah, before we get started with this, my name is Copycat, and if you haven't yet, then please subscribe to my channel, hitting that bell to stay notified when I upload new videos. To start things off, I want to look at several glitches that can help you speedrun the game extremely efficiently, saving you in some cases several minutes from your end time. Where the first I think we should look at is one of the first that you can do in the cutscene gold collection one. This is an important strategy slash exploit to pull off, as it allows you to destroy more terrain than you usually would be allowed to, letting you then go to your smashing stats and collect more gold than you usually would get, which in turn will help you pay the 2,999 gold in the hilltop layer, which is the only way to unlock the path forward to the canyon layer. How this works is that you have to press minus to skip the cutscene as soon as you trigger these initial switches with DK, which then for some reason counts every single piece of terrain as being broken, as if you go through the cutscenes normally this doesn't occur for some unknown odd reason. Being able to pull this off will allow you to accumulate gold slightly more quickly, but this will actually save you a few minutes and is mandatory if you do want that world record time. Another glitch that's been proven great for speedrunners is the out of bounds one in the landfill layer, which can be performed right at the beginning so you can basically get to the end in no time. What you need to do is climb up right here to get on top of the banana rock statues and keep to the left until you find the overhang. Next, climb up this specific crack in the wall and force yourself upwards until DK begins to wig out a bit, where if you're in the right spot, you'll see that you'll begin to clip through the roll a bit, and if you roll, you'll actually be able to get through into an out of bounds area. Here you can do one of three things, the first being walking back through the wall into the stage normally, which is the most boring one. The second is that you can actually fall off the stage into the void and eventually die if you fall far enough. And the third is that you can fall through the void, but get back into the level, basically being able to avoid doing all that digging, which really wastes valuable seconds in this layer. Now speaking of digging, one glitch or maybe unintended movement feature, or maybe just overlooked movement feature that was just discovered that definitely can help you complete speedruns much quicker is the spin drill one. Only working if you're in your Zebra Bananza form, and have the spin slam maneuver unlocked via the skill tree. What you need to do is just grab any type of chunk as the zebra, and then spin it around you using the left joystick. And then press and hold the B button, where you know you did it right if you start to travel through the ground super fast like a drill. Now, unfortunately, people figured out that you don't exactly need the zebra to any percent this game, as a workaround was found to bypass the crumbling bridges part, which you normally need to use the zebra's fast speed to cross over. So maybe this isn't as useful as I really do hope it would be, but maybe another method will be found on how to do this without the zebra, who knows. I also want to mention a glitch where you can just cross them as normal Donkey Kong, where you can just throw chunks onto these crumbling bridges and then use them sort of as stepping stones to get across them without triggering them breaking. If you use something like dirt, then you can just continuously keep picking up the chunks that you throw and then throw them again in front of you and use them as sort of, stepping stones, and then continuously do this until you reach a safe spot. Unfortunately, this isn't used much in speedruns anymore, as there's just other faster methods that we'll look at a little bit later in this video. It's just interesting to note, as it was a glitch that was used quite often early on in this game's inception, and even more interesting to realize that it's now pretty much obsolete. Next up, we're going to look at two different clips that you can do in the groove layer, beginning with one where you can actually use a clump of dirt to get through a wire gate. This actually lets you skip the majority of the jail section and make it to the main part of the layer pretty much right away, having to grab a dirt chunk and then climb onto this gate and enter the first person throwing mode looking backwards at the ceiling. When you throw the chunk, make sure it sticks on the ceiling exactly right here so that when you climb upwards, you'll get forced through the wall and to the other side. An easy looking glitch with a pretty tough setup, especially within the parameters of a world record speedrun. The other is called the chicken jockey clip, although it doesn't actually have anything to do with chicken jockey or even the meme itself, it's literally just a name anyways. Where this time you use a chunk of one of your Fractome buddies to clip through the ceiling to an out of bounds area. I found this particular setup a lot tougher to do than the previous one, as if your chunk throw is even slightly off, then it won't work and you'll just have to reset the terrain and try again. When you finally do pull this off, it allows you to bypass the door and finish off this layer without having to do many of the annoying things associated with it, saving you like several minutes off your run. One glitch that's incredibly unforgiving to control is juice boosting, also known as the rail speed up glitch. Needing to use a chunk of rock and a rail to send DK flying off into space. Like the name suggests, you'll need to have at least one melon juice equipped that you can buy at the stuff shop for 500 gold. Or if you're lucky, you can find it in a chest. And then go into any Bananza form and drain your energy so that you can't reactivate it normally. Next, grab a chunk that's big enough for you to stand on top of and place it on or near a rail that you intend to interact with. Finally, transform into a Bananza form, which then triggers the juice to restore your meter, and then quickly press ZR to pick up the chunk, ZL to surf on it, and A to jump, all in quick succession, where if you did it correctly, you'll see this. I don't know exactly why this happens or even how it works, but top speedrunners have become so good at it they can actually manipulate DK and sort of control where he ends up. And even though it was once used in the Feast layer to skip quite a large portion of it, it looks like a new clip has been discovered there that's actually easier, so there might still be an application for this, but right now it's not used in speedruns. There is a variation of this trick that can be used during the Harmonia Rehearsal Hall to skip a large portion of that, but this one uses the apple juice item instead, which instantly revitalizes your health once it runs out completely. During the section where you have to surf grind across the rails over a void, you usually need to jump around these foes, but instead just run into them and lose health. Where when you hit the last one, you'll lose it all, and then just hold your left joystick down and to the right, and hit A and then A again immediately. If you did it right, you'll see that you'll use the juice, and then fly off to the right at an almost supersonic speed, getting placed essentially over top of the level's end, where you just need to descend through the void and land safely. Again, pulling this off properly can be super tough, so ensure that you're equipped with tons of the juice, and also balloons, because trust me, you will die a few times attempting this. Before we move on to the more random glitches in this video, I just want to talk about a few movement-based exploits that allow players to cross some insane gaps and skip large portions of levels that saves vast amounts of times during speedruns. The first that was discovered was something called FAT, or Fast Air Turf Surf, where you can get a significant speed boost while riding on a chunk by pressing A to jump and then ZL and any punch button immediately after. You'll see that you did it right if you get a very fast boost while riding the chunk, which allows you to get through each layer much faster than intended, using this to your advantage to cross gaps either horizontally or vertically and get to some crazy spots. People have taken this even further by discovering that not only can you chain this together to do multiple at a time by double tapping ZL very fast to reset things and then proceed again, but also with perfect inputs, they've discovered something called IFATs, which is just the indefinite version of this, meaning that you can literally just fly through the air if you're skilled enough. This is super duper tough to try to do and involves some seriously fast fingers to the point where it really should just be left to tool assisted speedruns than actual humans. I have seen people pull this off, but not in actual speedruns. And even to do so, they had to change the controller's button scheme layout so that it's much easier. And not something speedrunners actually will attempt, as if you fail it, you'll lose more time than it's worth. Now we can finally move on to more obscure bugs that don't really change the gameplay in any drastic way, but are still fun to experience and look at. Starting things off with a glitch I remember doing myself in being able to get inside of the boom blocks. This works with literally any of the respawnable ones that you can find in the game. Needing to just break away half of the rock by punching downwards, then you just need to stand in the middle of the exposed part of the rock and allow it to reform around you. When you're inside, you can manipulate the camera in such a way that you can actually see underneath the level and through the ground. Although, in a game like Donkey Kong Bonanza, this isn't that huge of a thing, as when you're just naturally digging through the terrain, this tends to happen, so it's not that big of a deal. Now, if you jump dive out of these and then break the boom blocks again, and then grab a chunk in the right way, a visual glitch can occur where parts of it are exposed, but it still technically respawns, resulting in something that looks like this. I had trouble pulling this off consistently and could only really do it by accident a few times, So fool around with it a bit yourself, as how to do this consistently isn't quite clear. Up next is a very strange glitch where you can skip transforming Pauline from her rock form back into her human form by clipping through the specific gate here right behind the Elder Kong in the Lagoon lair. Pulling this off can be a bit tricky, but isn't impossible to learn, where the setup requires DK to be on this horizontal pole so that he's facing the camera with his back to the gate. When you're ready, force him to move to the left while periodically going in and out of camera mode, where if you did it correctly, then you'll actually get forced through the gate for some reason and now end up in a messed up game state. You can continue to play and collect bananas up until you reach the boss fight area where you're supposed to fight Grumpy Kong's Pika Bruiser. But instead, nothing loads as you didn't go through the necessary part of the game that triggers things to progress forward. Not much else you can say here, it just leaves the game in a weird place where you're not supposed to have this rock form of Pauline, needing to go back to properly transform her to move forward. It's not like things technically softlock as you can still go backwards and do this, it just is strange. The next glitch I want to look at involves the Hidden Tones, who give you a banana as a reward for finding them, where you can throw chunks of pretty much anything at their disguised selves to mess things up. If you throw multiple stickable chunks at them, and then hit them, which causes them to be revealed, you'll see that the chunks you've thrown at them for some reason now becomes part of them. You can get really creative with your chunk placements and make some really outlandish things happen. And again, this doesn't really do much other than look goofy, but I still love it. The final glitch of this video is one that can cause Dixie to inexplicably disappear when you're talking to her and Diddy in the racing lair. However, the setup for this is currently unknown, and I've only seen it happen once to someone online with no real explanation. As you can see in the video, for some reason Dixie begins to slide backwards off of the platform until she's completely off of it and disappears into a cloud of dust. Dying, I guess, I don't really know. For about an hour I tried to recreate this, and I still don't exactly know what's causing her to slide. I'm not sure if it was a chunk there that disappeared, or I don't know, you hit her beforehand. I tried varying different things, it didn't work, so if you have any idea how this does work, let me know in the comments below. Alright, that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. I really hope you did enjoy this one. Of course, this probably isn't every single glitch that's in the game. There's probably still dozens, if not hundreds, that have yet to be found. So if there are significant ones found in the future, then expect a follow-up video. If you haven't yet, then please like this video, comment below, and of course subscribe to my channel. Hope you guys all have a good day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!